Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new video. Yeah, back for another episode of stuff I could be bothered to watch. That's right. Everything that I've put on physical media and streaming in, well, God, I don't know, the last week, the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks. Sometimes it'd be a month. Yeah. Anyway, this is the latest little collection of what I've seen. So let's get into it. And we're going to start off with Imaginary from Blumhouse. Okay, so in Imaginary, this was sent over by the lovely people at Alternate Current for me to review. I actually really enjoyed this one. Yeah, I heard a few really bad things about it and that it was not very good, but to be perfectly honest, I had a lot of fun with it. It's about this woman called Jessica who, with her family, moved back to her childhood home, but Jessica has some really bad memories of when she was a little girl in the house. And when Jessica's youngest stepdaughter starts making friends with an imaginary bear, her own memories start to resurface about what really went on. Yeah, so I thought it was really good. There were some creepy moments in the darkness, in the shadows. There were some creepy looking monsters in it. For me, there was also some good scary moments in it. Yeah, there was a couple of jump scares, probably 3 or 4 jump scares that literally did make me jump. But there were some moments that made me go cold as well. And towards the conclusion of the film, it kind of reminded me of an Alice in Wonderland, kind of very fantastical and otherworldly. And it was very cleverly done. So yeah, I really had fun with this one. It was 1 hour and 45 minutes. I didn't feel there was any slow moments. The picture quality was fantastic though, absolutely crisp, clean. Most of the film is set inside their house, but the outside scenes were bright and vibrant. The sound was in Dolby Atmos, which was really good. There was lots of use of the subwoofer, and it felt like there were things at times over the head and good uses of the surrounds as well. So really good on the older sound system. Now the film does come with some special features, including audio commentary by producer, co-writer, director Jeff Wadlow and executive producer, actress DeWanda Wise, who played Jessica. Meet your new imaginary friends, thrills and thrills, crafting the beasts of imaginary and bringing nightmares to life. Yeah, I thought it was a well put together little horror film. Yeah, so there we go. So that is an Imaginary. Yeah, I definitely advise having a go at that if you like imaginary friends and creepiness and things like that. So yeah, Imaginary definitely gets a thumbs up. Okay, so next up we have Le Mans 66, also known as Ford versus Ferrari, which is directed by James Mangold. So this tells the story of car designer Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, as he teams up with Ken Miles, who's a race car driver. He's played by Christian Bale. And their job is to put together and create the ultimate racing car for Ford in order to beat Ferrari at the Le Mans 66. Now, I didn't get a chance to see this at the cinema, which is a bit of a shame because I think it will look fantastic and sound fantastic at the cinema, but that's not to put anything away from what the experience I got here, because when you get those engines roaring, you've got a Dolby Atmos system, holy crap, and that subwoofer kicks in. My God, that sound of that engine. That's one thing that if they ever put electric cars in racing, you're just going to be sitting at the side watching electric cars go. There's no sound, there's no engine, there's no heart and soul. That's why petrol automotives will always win over any other type of manufacturer. But yeah, this was a fantastic film. It was 2.5 hours long. There were some good comedy moments in there. There were some heart-stopping moments, some edge of your seat crashes. The last half hour was an absolute thrill ride through the Le Mans 66 as they go through the entire 24-hour challenge. So it looked absolutely beautiful on my OLED and it sounded fantastic through Dolby Atmos. The film also starred Josh Lucas and John Bernthal as well. It was a great cast, but I gotta put it to Matt Damon and Christian Bale. They really made this film what it was. Yeah, this was definitely a thrill ride from start to finish. So yeah, if you like your cars, I definitely advise to watch Le Mans 66. Could be one of the best racing biographical films out there. So there we go. That is Le Mans 66. Next up we have, what's it called? You Can Call Me Bill. Yes, the William Shatner story, really. This was okay. To be perfectly honest, I'm not quite sure why I bought it on physical media. Probably because it's William Shatner and I'm a big Star Trek fan. This was about an hour and a half, and it was all about just William Shatner sitting down, talking about his life, talking about his younger life, where he came from, getting involved in Star Trek, TJ Hooker, Star Trek fandom, his horses, and his journey into, space. So it was basically a biography on the disc form. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It's one of those kind of watches that you just stumble upon and then you watch it and then you just brush it to side, you've seen it. It's not going to be something that you're going to be watching multiple times. Yeah, I mean most of what you get out of this, you've heard in other documentaries before. They do throw in a couple of extra scenes, some family footage with his daughters and stuff like that. But yeah, it was okay, but I don't think it warrants purchasing a physical copy, and it just would have been best just to stream it. So I'll probably trade this one in because I can't really see myself watching it again, and if I do, I'll try to dig it out from streaming somewhere. Anyway, there we go. That is You Can Call Me Bill. William Shatner story. Okay, so next up is I Am Celine. Yes, I Am Seline Dion, which is a bit of a documentary. It's got some concert footage in there as well. It's mainly all about what happened to her when she contracted stiff person syndrome, which affects one in, I think it's 1 million people. And it's like your muscles are on fire and you get into fits and things like that. It's also affected her voice over the years as well. And it's basically just a daily following of her life, especially in the last year, with her trying to cope with the disease and trying to get her voice back to at least, sing. I don't think she's going to be performing anytime soon on a bigger stage, like she was doing in Las Vegas. It is a little bit sad in places, especially at the end, because it goes straight into a big fit that she has, and it's a little bit uncomfortable to watch, but it's very sad. Someone that used to be running around on stage and singing their heart out and touring all over the world, and now they're basically reduced to walking around the house and curling up on a sofa. So yeah, it shows you how shit can happen. But I thought it was a good film, a really good documentary film. We got a lot of story in there about her kids, and we also get to see, history about her husband and when he passed away. Lots of concert footage as well, back in the glory days, when she was really young as well, before she was discovered. So yeah, I thought it was really good. So it's on streaming. It's a streaming film, so it's called I Am Celine. So yeah, definitely go and give it a try. Even if you're not a massive fan of Celine Dion, it's a real eye opener, and it's a real eye opener for anybody that doesn't know what stiff person syndrome is, which I really wasn't familiar with it. So not only do we get insight into like the last year or two of Celine Dion's life as she was struggling with this horrible disease, but we also get to understand how the disease works and what it does to a person. There we go. So that is I Am Seline. Okay, so next up, yes, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. It's been 40 years since the first Beverly Hills Cop film hit us, 1984. We then had Beverly Hills Cop 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3, which was the last outing in 1994. And so, in a way, 30 years since the last one. Whoever thought that we'd see another one? This is very familiar. This film is actually better than it should be for a streaming exclusive on Netflix, because normally streaming films, especially on Netflix, are one-time throwaways, and you can tell they're definitely on, created for streaming. I could have seen this at the cinema. I could definitely have seen this going to the cinema. Of course, Eddie Murphy is back as Axel Foley. We've got a whole host of cast back again. Forgive me if I can't remember their actual actors' names, but we've got Billy back. We've got Taggart, he's back. We also have Paul Reiser back as Jeffrey, this time Axel Foley's boss in Detroit. Plus we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt as well. We've also got Serge, he's back as well. Plus we have Kevin Bacon playing mainly the villain. Yeah, so this film has everything. It's got action, it's got comedy, it goes from Detroit to Los Angeles, some revenge thrown in there, there's some drug smuggling. So it's got everything that you need in an Axel Foley film. And I don't know why they just didn't call this Beverly Hills Cop 4. Yeah, and we've got the familiar theme as well. So all in all, I thought this was really fun, really exciting. Some great actions, sequences, car chases, helicopter chases, gun battles, Eddie Murphy in a comedy role. What's not to love? This is probably one of the best things that I've seen on streaming for a very long time. And I just hope, fingers crossed, that maybe they'll see it in their wisdom to actually give us a physical release. But then again, being Netflix, you don't know. So we can only hope. But definitely watch this film on streaming. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. One of the best things on streaming for a long time. Okay, so next up is The Last Breath. Yes, a shark film. Surprisingly, getting a Blu-ray release rather than a DVD, as most of them do. This was better than I thought it was going to be. It's still very low budget, but the production values on it was actually pretty good. The acting was okay. There wasn't really any iffy acting. There's an annoying character, as you normally get in a film, but a goofball, but other than that, yeah, it was okay. Basically, the film starts out in 1944. The American battleship, the USS Charlotte, gets attacked by a German submarine, sinks the ship, and whoever's left gets eaten by sharks. Pretty much like the USS Indianapolis. We then skip forward to present day. We catch up with Noah and Levi, who run this kind of like tours, the sea tours, diving and that kind of stuff off this little island. And they're trying to find the remains of the USS Charlotte because it's been buried for 80 years. And because recent storms, it's removed lots of top layers of sand, revealing the USS Charlotte. Noah then has some visitors on the island there, some college friends, and they want to go out and they want to explore this, this old sunken wreck. So they get out there and start exploring, all the rooms underneath, because it's been underneath the sand, so it's kind of preserved more than it should be. And of course, sharks. So the film basically turns into a cat and mouse chase, through these different corridors and through these different rooms, in the sunken ship, trying to outwit the shark. Is there one or is there more? You get the occasional bite in as well. But overall, I thought it was okay. I don't think it's a shark film to watch like every year or so, you know, not like Jaws or Deep Blue Sea or, you know, The Shallows. But it is one of the lower budget shark films, but it's much better than a lot that I've seen in the past, such as Man-Eater, which was crap. Now, this was the last film for Julian Sands, who played Levi in the film, kind of like the captain, the master of the boat and the, you know, the operation. He died in like the California wild forest. They found his remains, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a bit of a sad farewell, but it was an okay, it was an okay film. But yeah, it was better than I thought it was going to be. The picture quality is pretty good, especially when they're outside of the water. Very bright, you know, like kind of Hawaiian type of islands and blue sea and blue, you know, blue skies and that. When they get inside the ship and inside the water, it's a bit of a murky overtone. It looks like grain, but it's all the floating crap in the water. So yeah, The Last Breath, probably one that you could really just wait and watch on streaming. Can't see myself watching it again. Like I say, it's not one of the classic shark films that you can rewatch, but yeah, it was okay. It was better than most. Okay, so last up is Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney. Yes, I had thought about actually doing this review as Sister Pauline, but I've already annoyed enough people with me not liking Taxi Driver. I thought I better not take the chance. Anyway, yes, interesting, yeah. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney plays Sister Cecilia, which my mum would have a laugh at because that was her name. Not sister, but Cecilia. Who used to live in Detroit. I think it's in Italy she's gone now, to a convent. Well, really, it's a cult. But she's gone to a convent where she's going to do her vows and become a full-time nurse. Full-time nurse? Full-time nun. That's it, yeah. But there's more going on in this convent than meets the eye when she falls pregnant. And there's no father. So yeah, it's the second coming. There, Jesus Christ our Lord has been resurrected. Yes. Yeah. Here is interesting. Most of the characters were unlikable. I suppose that's the whole point. There was one that was friendly to Sister Cecilia, which we never really saw anything more of her at the end of the film. So I don't know what happened to her. Or was she the one that dived off the top and had her face smashed in? I can't remember. A lot happens in this film. It's only an hour and a half. And it's all about saving the baby. And the baby is going to save Earth and, you know, mankind and all that kind of shit. Don't matter what happens to her. And she has to escape. She has to escape this convent. Slash cult. Yeah, there's a lot of blood. There's a hell of a lot of screaming. Flipping Norma. Yeah, especially at the end. Especially at the end. Yeah. The ending I didn't think was going to happen like that. Meh. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay for a quick 90-minute watch. Didn't blow me away. No jump scares, blood, a bit of gore, that's about it. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, that's Immaculate. I wouldn't call it sheer terror. It says here, an unholy and unhinged feast of sheer terror. I don't think it's sheer terror. A relentless, thrilling roller coaster ride. I don't know about that, but yeah, it was interesting. Definitely a one-time watch. Something that you would just flick on streaming. But there you go. That's Immaculate. Brilliant. So that's it. That's the end of the reviews for this video. I will be doing another one in about 4 years. I will be doing another one soon, a couple of weeks or so. So I hope you enjoyed the reviews. If you did, like the video by giving it some thumbs up. Bob. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. Stick down in the comments. Have you seen any of those films? And did you like any of them? Yeah, and I'll see you on the next video very soon. Bye-bye.